Okay, welcome everyone to RefWorks Basics, Managing and Citing Your Research. My name is Megan Drito-Wegant, and I am a librarian from PCUM, Georgia. Thanks for coming, everyone. So Scholarly Snippets is part of a series to help you advance your research skills and support your scholarly activities. In this particular workshop, I'm going to be showing you how to utilize RefWorks to save articles, organize citations in RefWorks, create bibliographies, and utilize RefWorks to create in-text citations. So what is RefWorks? You're here because you want to learn about a citation management software. So again, it has all of these capabilities. I do want to note that you can share citations with other people. Everyone has to have a RefWorks account for this. So, and as a librarian, I feel it is my due diligence to remind everyone we cite because plagiarism is bad. We all know that. But what you may not know is that plagiarism is derived from a Latin word, which means kidnapper, which I think is a really cool way of thinking about how we think of taking ideas. We are kidnapping other ideas without giving credit. Citation is how we acknowledge our debt to those who came before, those who helped us find our way. So long and short of it, I am going to be doing a demonstration of this live. Not much point of just showing you slides. If you are joining me from PCUM Library, the easiest way to access RefWorks is to go to My Accounts and go to RefWorks here. So this is RefWorks. Very simply, we have the default menu is all references. So I will also be showing you how to organize them into folders. And as you can see, if you do not organize into folders, RefWorks will default into not in folder. So it is a good idea, especially as you get going, to organize into folders. And one thing I like to advocate is that create a folder. You can create a folder for a class. You can create a folder for a topic. Whenever you're doing a new research topic, create a different folder from it. Anytime you can organize, it's going to help yourself in the long run. I might as well show you while I'm here. I'll go to my example folder, and you can see here we have a ... for more options. You can do things like add a subfolder, but I want to show you how to share. You can set it so that anyone in your organization may join the folder. I don't typically advocate using that unless you're doing something that is campus-wide collaboration. You can do a public URL. So say, for example, you are doing research and you're doing a poster, you're a little short on space for your poster. You can copy this URL, make it a QR code. That's a really good use for the public share. This is being able to see the content of your folder. If you want to collaborate with people, you can do it this way. You would put their email address in there, and there are 3 options you can do. You can do can read, can annotate, can modify. I know some of the faculty here at PCUM will actually do things like have students create a folder where they want to be able to annotate it, to give commentary on it. So if you need to do a feature like that, you would add a name like that. If it's just a fellow student, again, this is where you would add the student's email address and you would do can modify and click on share folder. RefWorks is pretty cool. There are 3 ways of adding articles into it. The first is you can say you already have a bunch of PDFs of articles. you can upload the document as such. You could do it as Word or PDF, and it will read the document with mostly it's pretty good at reading even a PDF. Occasionally you'll come across a PDF where it will miss a bunch of stuff, so I like to double check all of its work. The second way you can upload a project is to create a reference manually. So if you click this, you will see a screen on the right. The default reference type is always article journal. So say, for example, you're doing a book, you will want to always select the reference type, and it does matter, especially because, as you know, in different reference styles, they use different types of formatting for different reference types, so it matters. So again, you just put the title, the authors, any information that you know, you would put it in here. And then you'd click Save down here. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. The third way of adding articles is through a tab called Save to RefWorks. So to get to it, you would click on Tools and Extensions and Add-ons. So at this point, you would click on Save and you just drag and drop to your favorites bar. Side note, not everyone defaults to have their bookmarks favorites bar actually showing. So you might have to, for example, customize your favorites bar, but this can be done with any search browser. And let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. I'm going to go to one of my favorite search databases. We'll just do a quick search for breast cancer. And let's click on this first article here, breast cancer. And say this is the article I wanted to save. I can click on Save to RefWorks. And the first time you do this, it might ask you to log in, but obviously I'm already logged in. So you can see here, it is automatically compiling all the information data, complete type of journal, etc. I always double check all of this information, particularly the authors. Occasionally, especially if someone has, for example, like an umlaut in their name, something unusual not normally found in Roman characters. Occasionally, RefWorks will get it wrong. So always double check what is pulling in. This is a good example. It's saying the journal is the Journal Hospital Medicine. I don't think you would need to have this London, England information in there, so I'm just going to delete that. And it has the URL, etc. Click Save to RefWorks. You could have a specific project you want. I typically just leave it an untitled project. And as you can see, I am going to go ahead and automatically assign it to a folder and click on Import. At this point, you can either click View on RefWorks or Close in Sidebar. I'm just going to close Sidebar. I guess technically there is a fourth way to send it. I'm going to go back to my search results and say I wanted to save multiple references all at once. You can click on them. You can see I have 4 items selected. Click on Send To and click on Citation Manager. Create file, downloads. Sure, that sounds great. And I'm now back in RefWorks. And let's see. If you click on Import References, I created a file. So now I'm going to go back into Download. And you can see that it automatically identifies where it's being imported from. If it doesn't do it correctly, you can click on Search for Import. And you can click on what folder you want to import it to. And now it is imported 4 articles very, very quickly. So this can be useful, for example, if you are just starting your research and you are trying to, you're just going through a list of articles, you've only read the abstracts, and you want to save them into a read for later folder, you could do that. You can actually see I have an article to read folder, and you can go into this, click on this, and let's see. It has the DOI saved here, so at this point, you could just put this into your search bar and very easily go back to your article. It's just a digital way of having all of your references in one spot. Another very important feature, again, this is a citation manager. So you can create bibliographies in 2 ways. One is I'm just going to say I wanted to cite all of the articles to read. Click on Create Bibliography. And I'm going to click on Bibliography again. And you can see here that it has created a bibliography very quickly. RefWorks has over 7,000 different styles. It does save the last couple of styles you've been using. So say, for example, I want to use New England Journal of Medicine style. Very quickly, I have now saved it as New England Journal of Medicine style, and then you could just copy it and paste it to whatever document you are working with. I did want to show you the in-text citation. I'm sorry, I did not have my Google Docs uploaded. So you can use in-text citations with both Google Docs and with Microsoft Word. I'm just going to show you in Google Docs. To get started, you would click on Extensions and Add-ons. You would click on Get Add-ons, search for RefWorks here, and then you would click here. Obviously, I already have this installed. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. And while that loads, okay. So this is what it's going to look like in both Microsoft Word and Google Docs. There's a few formatting differences, but this is basically what it looks like. So let's see. Sentence 1, sentence 2. So here I have 2 sentences, and I want to cite both of them. Wherever your cursor is wherever the citation, the in-text citation will be. So say, for example, I wanted to cite this article here. I can select it, click on Insert Citation, and it has given me an in-text citation. Note that it has not given me the bibliography, but I'll get to that in just a bit. One thing to note is that it does default to showing you just all references. This is another reason I advocate for using folders, is because say you have been using RefWorks like I have for over 5 years. I have hundreds of various citations. So I'm going to click on this specific folder. And again, my citation is going to happen wherever my cursor is. So you can click on here. Note that you can do in text, you can do it as a footnote. Insert my second citation here. The default citation style is whatever style you have done last. So in this case, it was APA. If you need to change your citation style, you can either search for it here, Or I'm going to say I want ICMJ style. So I'm going to click on that and then click on Apply Style. And you can see here that I now have my in-text citations have been updated. Something to note is that they do have a tab for my citations, so you can see citations that have been used in your current project. This is pretty useful. Say, for example, you're working on a long thesis and you're like, oh, have I already cited this? You can see, oh, I need to have, say, 10 citations total in my document. Very useful little tab there. I'm going to go to my view menu. And you can see a few things here. One is you can also change citation style from this menu. The second thing is that you can see the bibliography here. The bibliography is automatically turned off. It helps with processing. It makes it so that it's faster. But if you wanted to view your bibliography, you would just click on the slider and you can see your bibliography here. It does pop up just at the bottom. So say, for example, I hadn't had an additional paragraph, uh, additional line there, it would have popped up directly there. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, this can be toggled off and on as you want. Yes. So that is our in-text citation. One thing to keep in mind is that a lot of people will be doing research at the same time they're also working, for example, in Google Docs. So say, for example, that you are adding a lot of new references to RefWorks as you're going, and you have this document here, and you are trying to find your references, and you're not seeing it in your list. The reason why is you might need to literally refresh. So you can click on the refresh button here. If that doesn't work, you can click on the refresh button up here, then it will definitely show. The only problem with that is that when you refresh there, it does close your citation manager. If you are working in Microsoft Word, then you might have to close your entire document down in order to do this refresh if this refresh button isn't working. I have seen occasions where it just doesn't sync properly, and that's fine. It's just something to keep in mind. Okay, we have 30 minutes total for this, so I'm just going to check our notes. Okay, interesting fact, thanks. And then I don't believe EndNote allows you to upload references from a document, so this feature is great. It really is. And it just makes it easier because I've had so many people who they might have already started on this, and I can actually show you that feature if you'd like. See if I can find a PDF here. Does anyone else have any questions? I will open the floor up for questions. I'm happy to demonstrate something. Of course, this is the slowest document to ever open while I'm demonstrating it. Yes, I will show you the process for downloading PDFs. So this PDF, download it I'll just put it in my downloads folder. So I have that downloaded folder. And what you would do is you would just click on add, and you can either do upload document here, or you can do it as a PDF. Upload it. This is my PDF. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in my examples folder. Another feature that RefWorks does have is it has a ignore duplicates feature, which is pretty nice. You can also select import Word PDF document itself, which means that you'd be able to download the document in RefWorks. So say, for example, you're working off of multiple computers, it makes it easier. I will say the importing PDF can be a little slow. Hopefully it won't take too long for this demonstration. It does warn you, it may take a few minutes. Have I run into any issues when demoing RefWorks when I have a wide variety of devices? iPads have been giving me some challenges. That is a good question. I will admit that I mostly have just been demoing it on a computer. I am sorry, Christina, I cannot fully answer your question. What in particular with iPads have been giving you a challenge? While we're waiting on that, I wanted to show you this duplicates feature because it's pretty cool. Adding the extension and finding their bookmarks. It's different on each iPad. Yeah. Typically when I run into that feature, I make them change the browser. Each browser is different. I find Chrome for me seems to work the easiest. I've had students move to Safari, Firefox in order to add the extension. Um, so this is the find duplicate references. And I'll just go to all. And it's pretty cool. I did this just the other day, so it may not actually find anything. But basically, this feature finds, identifies duplicates, and see here I have duplicates of these two things. So then you could just easily select delete the duplicates. So that's my favorite because I dislike having duplicates of the same. Any other questions? Would anyone else like to see? The question is, do you recommend RefWorks over other citation managers? Rachel, I have to admit that RefWorks is the citation manager that I know. My college only has one citation manager. I don't think I can give an unbiased opinion on this because for example, I don't know how EndNote or any of the other citation managers. I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. I do think RefWorks works well when it works. I also think that it is technology. All technology has issues sometimes. When it works great, it's amazing. When it doesn't, it's extremely frustrating. Any other questions? I'm just checking to see. The PDF still has not loaded. It can take up to 5 minutes. I do admit that typically I do recommend importing directly from, say, for example, PubMed over importing a PDF, but it does work. What tags do I employ? Um, I'm pretty big on sticking to the tags that RefWorks automatically uh, suggests. Um, I guess what I would have to say is that I advocate personally, what works for me best is to use folders over tags because of the in-text citation. Um, for example, when you are citing in here, I don't think you can search by tags. I think, yeah, you cannot search by tags in your in-text citation. So, really the only time it's useful is if you're trying to find an article in RefWorks itself that you know you've imported. So to answer your question, I employ the tags RefWorks suggests. I do think tags have their place. There's nothing more frustrating than knowing you've imported an article that you want to cite, but you can't find it. So best thing I can say is that organization is your best friend. Um, one other thing that you can do um, uh, is that each of these articles will have a notes section, or you could even put in the abstract section. So say, for example, you want to say like, I want to use this article for background paragraph. So you can write notes right in the citation manager itself. Again, everyone has their own different way to organize. It's about making something that works for you. Thank you everyone for coming. I hope this has been useful for you. One thing I did want to mention is, yes, thank you. Our next scholarly snippets is helping authors maintain compliance with zero embargo NIH public policy submission mandate. And you've just been given the link to register for that event. I highly recommend it. Please let me know how I did with the survey link. And this
real quick, in case they didn't see, sorry, I didn't realize I had the original date, and it's going to be next Tuesday is when he's going to be presenting this.
Yes, thanks for the clarification. And then, of course, if you want to come back to this later, this has been recorded and it will be on the Scholarly Snippets YouTube channel. Thanks, everyone.